This video file is recorded in Sabancı University during the recitations for the CS201 Introduction to Computing course, as it was given in the fall 2016 semester.
Okay. Let's start with a couple of more examples. And they should be sufficient for you in order to have a clue what you should expect in your midterm. We will have an example with strings. Just let me find the marker. Let's go with the 14th example. So let's see what it is about. The 14th example is this one. Okay. We have three strings. S1, S2, and S3. We should write a function that takes those three strings, finds the occurrence of S2 in S1, and replaces that with S3. For instance, we have string 1 being this one. Hatasız sınav olmaz, hatamla sev beni. This is one string. S2 is hata, and S3 is kopya. So let me write the strings for you. So S1 is equal to because I'm going to give you the algorithm, how I'm going to solve it. Okay, this is S1. S2 is this one, kopya. Now S2 is only hata. And S3 is equal to kopya. We don't have any empty space in between. What we should do is the following. Find the occurrence of string 2, S2, in string S1, namely hata. So we have here hata. We have also here hata. And replace it with kopya. Okay, so this is what we should do. How are we going to do that? Just let me... Okay. Let me put a variable, length. I'm going to show you the steps how am I going to do that. In length, we have the length of this string. I don't know, let's say I don't want to count them. So we have an empty space here, here, and here, and here, and here. Comma here, all of them are characters, are counted. Let's say we have here like 27 characters. Okay. The length of S2 is 4, H-A-T-A. The length of S3 is 5, okay? So I can write 4 here. This is 5. Let's say that this guy is 27. Well, now what I'm going to do is the following. I'll start from here, from the first index, which is 0, up until the end, and try to find the occurrence of S2 in S1. And when I find it, then I replace this one with S3. So, I'm starting from 0, and I see, does hata occur here? Yes, it occurs. That's why I'm going to erase this hata. Instead of it, I'm going to put kopya. Okay? But there's a problem now. Hata has 4 characters, while copia has 3 characters. Okay? That's why I'm going to increase it, the length of by 1. Okay? Up until the end. And I'm going to check now, okay, from the 0th, I saw it. Now I'm going to check with the first character. Does it occur? No. I'm going to the second character. Does it occur? No. And so on. When I come here, again, let's say this is the, I don't know, the 16th character, starting from 0. Then what do I see? I see it again. I want to put copia here and increase the length by 1. Okay? Since Hata has 4 characters and copia has 5 characters. And how I'm going to do that? Again, I want to change the value of the string. That's why S1, the new S1, will be, let's say I found it here at the 16th character, and I know the 16. Let's say this is index. I've put it here. At index 16, I found that a matching occurred between S2 and that part, that substring of S1. So S1, the new S1, will be the following. Will be S1 substring. You remember the substring function, we're not going to repeat it again. Basically, it takes a substring, a part of the string, from this character, in this case it's from 0, and it takes index characters. Let's say I'm taking index minus 1, let's say. Meaning I start from 0, and I take 15 characters starting from 0, which is, no, in the index minus 1, 16 characters, exactly. It will be from 0 to here, okay, 15. It's exactly 16 characters, meaning S1 is equal to substring from 0 till here, it's going to be repeated, plus. Then I want to replace this Hata with this copia. I put S3 here, okay? Plus, after I put S3 here, I want to include, so Hata is going to be replaced with copia, but I want to include this part till the end. And how much is that? This is S1 substring. By the way, this character plus means concatenation. So, just if you don't know it, for the ones that didn't attend last week's lecture or recitations of lecture, let's say I have string 1, which is rtrim, and I have a string 2, which is hello. Then if I say S3 is equal to string 3 is equal to string 2 plus string 1, then the value of S3, string 3, will be what? Can you tell me? Hello Arthur, exactly. This is called concatenation, merging two strings. So, string 3 is going to be hello rtrim with no empty space here because you don't have an empty space after the hello. Basically, I'm going to merge them, exactly. Now, string 1 is the substring from 0 to index, I saw it. Plus, instead of Hata, I'm putting copia, this is S3, plus from this guy till the end. How I'm going to do that? Substring of what? Yeah, but we know that this is from index because it can be 25.
Index from length minus index.
Index? What? Just tell it. I mean, what should? Just remember, the first parameter tells us from where we should start. The second parameter tells us how many characters should we take, starting from that particular index. So when I say substring 0, I start from 0, and I take index characters. Index is 16. So I take This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 16 up until here. So let's say this is the 15th. But from 0 to 15 I have 16 characters. So I'm taking 16 characters. I start from 0 and I take 16 characters, okay? So in that case, what should we do? I know this is 16. So this is going to be how much? 17, 18, 19, 20. But this hata might change. So this is how much? Index plus? Yeah, and how I take the length of S2? S2 length. Okay, so this is the starting index. I start from 20, which is 16 plus 4, and 4 is the length of S2. I start from here. This is, let's say, 20. Till the end, how many characters do we have? I mean, how many characters are left till the end? Length minus something, but even if you put the length, this length here, it's not a mistake. Because it's going to stop here. If I put 1,000 characters, but I have only 10, I'm going to take those 10. And nothing more, okay? So did you get this one? This is okay? Yes or no? Do I have to repeat it again? One more time. Once more. So substring works in the following manner. It's a member function of the class string. It takes two parameters. The first parameter tells us the index we start from, and the second parameter tells the number of characters that we are taking from that substring. For instance, when I say substring from 0 till index, and this is 16, what I'm returning, what I'm getting is the following. I start from the 0th character and I take 16 character and return them. So I start from here and I take 16. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 16 is up until this empty space, let's say. Okay? So this plus is used to concatenate, to merge two strings. That's why, in order to replace this hata with this copia, I'm going to just take this substring. I'm going to add the copia here. Okay, this is the copia. And I'm going to also add, after the copia, this part here. Okay? And this is how I get it. So if the index where the hata occurs is 16, plus 4 more characters, it's 20. 16, 17, 18, 20. 21 actually, we should start from 21. Okay, and this is by the length. Length is 4. Length of, 4, so we should start plus 1 here. And I go up until the end. I say the length. Length is the length of the initial string. Although, if the length is 30, I'm not going to take 30 characters since I have only 10 left, but I'm going to go to the end. The better solution would be if I say length minus blah, 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 but we're not going to bother with that for the time being. Okay? So after this stuff, what I do, S1 is, okay, this substring is here, plus S3. Then I have, after this guy, I have copia here, and the parts, this one, copiam la, sev beni, this hatam la. So I have copiam la, sev beni. In the end, this will be the final string that I want. Of course, since I replaced hata with copia, and copia has length which is for 1 greater than hata, the length, the overall length of this S1 is going to be increased by 1. Or whatever the length of S3 is, okay? This is it. Maybe it will be hard to understand all the algorithm for the time being, but you have a clue at least what I'm doing. So if you go at your home, you just take a sheet of paper and try to go through the code, play the role of the compiler. You will understand what I'm talking about in probably 5 minutes or so. I'm going to write the code now. You might think it's a long code, but it's not. So we are asking for a function. Okay, you see, write a function, not a program. So I don't have to write the main part, only the function. And function takes 3 strings, namely it takes hatamla blah blah blah, and it's going to return kopiamsız blah blah blah, okay? So the name of the function is it should return a string. So this is the initial S1. This is also S1. And I should return kopyasız sanal olmaz kopyamla sev beni. Do you agree with this one, kopyasız sanal olmaz, or not? Yes, you agree. I mean, you should cheat in your exam. Yes, sometimes. Okay. You might try it, but there are consequences for that in Sabancı. I'm sorry. Change word. I'm not discouraging you from cheating, but I'm trying to tell you to be cautious about it. So we take through 3 parameters: string S1, string S2, so this is string S1, string S2, and string 3. Okay. Now I'm declaring 3 unsigned variables for the length of those 3. Unsigned length. This is the length for the first character. Then S2 len, this is the length for the second character, and S3 len, this is for the third character. Correspondingly, we have that the length of the first character is S1 point length. In same manner, the length of the second character is S2 length. And the length of the third character, of the third string, not character, is equal to S3 length. Also, I declare an integer here called index, which initially is 0. And I will use this index to iterate from 0th character till the end, okay? And find the occurrences. So, this is the most important part here, the while loop. While index is smaller than length. I start from index till the end. I iterate it one by one. What if it's smaller than length? First, I have to find this hata here. Trying to find the index of the occurrence of this hata in the string S1. Do you remember how can we do that? Come on. I want a clue from you. I want to find the occurrence of this hata here. Which function did we use? You remember? Who told it? Hassan? Find. Yeah. So, index is equal to string 1 point find string 2, the pattern of this string, starting from which character? Starting from 0. Okay, so S2 tells us what should we find in S1, and index tells us from where should we start. Okay, I don't have place, I'll continue here. If we have found it, If you don't find it, S1 will be no position. You remember no position and pos? Okay, it's a very large number, meaning that we haven't found it. So if the index, if this index we have returned no position, meaning we haven't found it, it's not found, it's not no position, string and pos, meaning that we have found it, it exists. In our case, it's the 0, since hata occurs exactly at the 0th index. So if we have found it, what should we do? We should do the thing that I told you. I mean, you remember S1 is equal to substring to blah blah blah, and I'm writing it here. So S1, the new string, is equal to, we should change hata to copia, but this hata might be here. Okay, let's say it's here. So from the 0 to this character, it's the same. That's why we say S1 is equal to S1 substring from 0, from the beginning, up until the index is found, plus we add this S2. No, we add this S3, so hata is changed with copia, plus S3, plus what's left from the string. And what's left from the string is, remember this mla save beni, so we are adding it right now. Substring from index plus the length of this string was S2 len. We found it here. So index plus S2 len up until the end, which is length. Of course, it's not exactly the length, but when we put something greater, we take all the characters. If we have 10 characters here, when we put 100 as a length, we take everything up until the end. Okay? So this is it. This is for the if clause, if statement. Then this is for the while. Since this is a function, we expect to return the string, and the string is this one. So return S1. This is for the function, change word. Now, let me go again through the code because I think it's important to understand it. It's better if we cover less examples, but to understand what we cover, than to cover 20 examples, but we don't understand any of them, okay? So this is our input, hata sanaf almas. We want to find hata here and change it with copia. So let's see how the code is working. S1, S2, S3 are the following ones. Let me write them here. I declare a new variable, which is called length. Let's say we have 29 characters here, so the index of this guy is 28. I'm making up the numbers, it's not exactly, but I don't want to count them. If you want to help me, fine. How much? 27, okay. 37. So the length is 37. And the character here, the index is 36. Okay, we start from 0 up to 36. So we define length S2 len, S3 len. Initially they are 0, so this is S2 len and S3 len. Initially we don't have any value. The index value is 0. We start from 0. Okay. Now the length of the S1 string is given with length. For the second string is S2 len, which is 4. We write 4 here. Okay, I'm just going through the code. Try to understand it. It's important. The length of S3 is 5. Now, While the index is smaller than length, 0 is smaller than length, I'm iterating those one by one. Okay? So I'm going inside, I'm saying that index is equal to S1 find S2 index. What are we doing is the following. At the S1 string, we are trying to find the S2 word starting from index, from 0. Basically, starting from 0, we want to find S2 is hata. So S2 is hata. Starting from 0, we want to find hata. What is the index that is going to be returned? I mean, this is S1. We want to find here hata starting from 0. And what's the index? The first occurrence of that pattern. 0. We start from 0. So we will have 0 returned here. Index again will not be changed, will be 0. We are asking 0 while index is not end position. This is true because we found it. 0 is not end position. What we are trying to do? S1 is equal to S1 substring from 0. We start from the index 0 and we take 0 characters, which is nothing. Okay? This is empty string. We start from index 0 and we take index is 0, 0 characters. From here, we take 0 characters. This makes no sense. So this is empty string. Doesn't make any change. We add S3. So let's say we say the hata is added. No, it's not like it's copia is added. S3 is copia. Plus, we add substring from index plus S2 len. Well, let's see. Index is 0. S2 len is 4. 0 plus 4 is 4. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. This is 3. This is 4. Starting from the 4th character, so this is index plus S2 len, up until the end, we take the whole string. So we take this sis anaf almas hatam lasavbeni, okay? Copia. Basically, with this first iteration, we have erased these hatasas, and we have copia sis, okay? It's good to change the length here. I mean, maybe it's done. I didn't. Okay, yeah, it's done here. I forgot about that. Since we have a new length for the string, S1 string, we say that length is equal to S1 length, the new length. And also, since we found the first index, the next index we should start looking from here, okay? From the 4th. That's why we should write this one, that index is equal to previous index plus S3 length. Meaning we just found we were at 0. Now we know that copia is already found. We should start from after behind of it, okay? From this S here. So index length is now going to be 38. When we change it to copia, the length of the index is going to be 4. We are not finished. We are going with a while loop. Index is not smaller than length. Is this true? Yes, 4 is smaller than 38. We go inside. The new index will be the following stuff. We should find that S1, the string S2 starting from index 4. So starting from here, we should find the next hata. Okay? Let's say that this is 16. I'm making the number. So index is going to be 16 here. And it's going to be returned to the index. If index is not non-position, no position, meaning that if this is not true, but this is not true because we have found index, we do the same stuff, but here we have something different. The new S1 will be S1 substring from 0 to index. From 0 up until index, 16 characters, from 0 to 15. We're just going to copy paste this stuff, then add copia, then add this stuff here. So from 0 to index, add copia, and add the remaining part, meaning afterwards we will have this stuff here. Copia. Then we are going in the beginning is 16. The index is going to be, the length is going to be changed, of course, from 38 to 39. The index now will be 16 plus 4, it's 20. Now we are checking whether 20 is smaller than length. Yes, it is smaller. We are trying to find the next index, but what do we get now? N position. So index will have the value of n position, which is a very big number. I think the maximum number. So it's, if it's unsigned, if it was unsigned, its number would have been, so let us make it unsigned. Initially it's 0. It would have been U, I, and T max from C limits. So it's n position. Now we are checking if index is not equal to n position, but this is false. That's why we go here. We check whether the index is smaller than length. N position is a very big number, very large number, and this number is not smaller than 39. So we go outside from the while loop. We return the string S1, which is this one, and this is it. Okay. I don't expect from you to understand everything 100%, but if you have a clue what I'm talking about, I think you'll need like 10 minutes to understand this example when you check it at your home. Not more. Now we have seen only 4 loops, and we don't want to make any discrimination here. That's why let's see an example with a while loop. And when we have while loops, usually, not usually, sometimes, we are dealing with math. So let's see the 18th example. You can check it at your So this is the 18th example. To write a function again that is going to compute this stuff here. Try to figure out what should we do. You know what those 2 vertical bars are about? What do they represent? Absolute values, yes. And what is that? Yeah. If the value inside those 2 is negative, then the output is going to be the corresponding positive number, the opposite of positive number. If it's positive, it's going to remain positive. So you know it from high school that it's absolute value. Luckily for you, yeah, you can write your function, which is called absolute function, and check if it's negative, then return the negative, the opposite of it. If it's positive, then return that number. But there is a library, as you know, which is called CMath or math.h. I'm not sure, maybe both of them work. I think it's CMath because both of them exist, and sometimes I mix which one is about what. I think it's CMath, and inside CMath, so you have to include CMath. If not CMath, then math.h would do. Inside those 2 functions, inside this library, you have some functions defined. One of them I think we saw last week. It was which? Power. A and B. Can be integer values. This one can be double, but the second one is usually integer. And basically this is A to the power of B. Another function that is defined inside this library is the absolute value. We are going to need the power for this one, then the absolute value for this one. It's written like this: F, A, B, C, and A. So this is the absolute value. And another function that we are going to need is what? Basically this is it. we have the power here, the absolute value, another power here. See? This is it. So basically, we should write the function. We don't have anything else here. That takes three parameters, x, n, and p, and we should calculate this stuff. You know what is this? This is summation, and this is the product. Basically, let me write the function so you can understand it better. So this is, you should find the following. I mean, do you know what you should find? Should I go to details about this formula or not? I think this should be clear from the calculus course. Should I write what should you find or not? Yes or no? No? If that's the case, very nice. So you can see the formula here that you should calculate. Just tell me, please, which is the part that you're going to find first? I think I should write something. If not in details, I think that from 3 to n, this is x, the x is given, multiplied by summation from j is equal to 1, from 1 to p.
It's the flower sign in the middle.
It's not the flower, it's multiplication. Squared, and all of this guy is to the power of I. So basically it's something like this. This is from 3 to n, x, n, and p are given as parameters. Let's say it can be 3, 7, and 9, for instance. And we have to find x multiplied by. We are going to find the following stuff. X minus 1 squared. This is the absolute value of that guy. Plus x minus 2 squared. Plus x minus p squared, because we go from 1 to p, to the power of I. Okay?
The left side is really easy. Just n minus 3 times n.
Yeah, 3 to n. So this is it. Okay? So we find the summation first of this stuff, and all this summation is to the power of I. Any objections? This is from, it's from I. I'm sorry. Yes, this is from I, not from 1. So basically we have, yes, I squared, I plus 1 squared, up until p squared. Yeah, you're right. So, and this one is, of course, I don't have to write, I mean, x multiplied by this one again and again and again. Now, which part is going to be calculated first? Exactly, we are going to calculate, but inside those brackets, the absolute value, we have this one. So we're going to calculate this one, then we are going to calculate this one, absolute value. We will have the summation of those, and when we have summation, we are going to do it with a for loop. And when we find all the summations, when we are going to just put it to the power of I. Okay? So this is it. I don't have to develop it more. I think this should be sufficient. So I'm writing the code right here. We are writing a function. What's the value of the function that should be returned? It's double, of course, because we're dealing with, okay, it can be an integer, multiplication. Stuff is, but it's double. It's called find value. As a parameter, this guy takes what? x, n, and p. So they're all doubles. X, n, and p. Okay. When we have multiplication, the initial value is what? The result is 1. Okay? So, double. We have the result here, which is 1.0. 1.0. Now we are writing a loop starting from 3 to n and computing this stuff here, okay? That's why we have for integer I is from 3, I is smaller or equal to n, I plus plus, okay? Now we are continuing here. In order to find this multiplication stuff here, we should find this part here. And this is about summation, so I'm continuing here. I don't have space here. I mean, I have space, but I want to write it in a more clearer way. So we start here from j is equal to I. J is smaller or equal to n up until this condition is smaller or equal to p, j plus plus. What do we have here? Before doing it, we should find the summation. Initially, what's the value of the summation? When you have multiplication, we start from 1. When we have summation, we start from 0. That's why we will have another variable, which is going to be called sum result. And sum result is going to find this part here. Sum result. Initially, it's 0.0. Okay? And double the result, the final result of all of this formula, it's 1.0. Now, how am I going to calculate this one? I start from I up until P. What do I have to find? The sum result is equal to the previous sum result, so we start from 0. Plus, now this is the important part. We can find I, it's like this, power I2. This is I squared. Okay. Before that, we have this part, minus. We have x minus power to I squared. But this is in absolute values. In absolute values, the absolute value is calculated like this. That's why I have F, A, B, C, this stuff. Okay, so sum result is equal to sum result plus the absolute value of x minus I squared, then I squared, j squared, I'm sorry. So we have here j squared, yeah, j squared, j plus 1 squared up until p squared, okay? Then I find this one, then I add this one, then this one up until the end. When I find the sum result, I found this stuff here. Then I want to multiply it with x, but before multiplying it, I should increase it to the power of I. So we have the result. Is equal to the previous result multiplied by x multiplied by this sum result here, but power of that stuff. So power of sum result to the power of I. Okay, this is it. And finally, so this is for this guy. We have here this one for the second 4. This is for this one, and we return the result. And this is for main. Of course, we couldn't cover all of the examples. You had like 15, and we shouldn't have covered all of them. Try also the 7th and the first example, okay? You will have the solutions. If you don't have them, just email me. The 7th and the first one, okay? If you have problems, you can contact me, email me, and if you want extra office hours, just arrange it. We can do it next week after the midterm, okay? This is all. Good luck in your exam, okay? See you next week at the exam.